Welcome to the Great Basin Fire Potential Briefing for Sunday, June 20th. Over the next couple of days, we will continue to deal with increased winds across the Great Basin. Today, as a cold front moves through, northwest winds will develop over central and eastern Utah, with gusts above 30 or 35 miles per hour and continued dry conditions. On Monday, with a trough developing off the west coast, we will see an increase in southwest winds along the Sierra Front and southern Nevada, and then eventually these winds will strengthen on Tuesday and spread further east over much of Utah. These winds on Tuesday will affect all of our large incidents, as well as winds today over parts of Utah. Wind gusts on Tuesday could increase to above 40 miles per hour with continued dry conditions. We will also see isolated mixed wet and dry thunderstorms developing over parts of southwest Idaho by Tuesday. Over the last 24 hours, we've seen lightning over the eastern half of Utah, especially east of Price. These thunderstorms, where they were more concentrated, were a mix of wet and dry, with reports of up to 1/10 of an inch of rainfall. Elsewhere, dry conditions with gusty outflow winds were reported. Great Basin fire activity was light yesterday. You can see in red all the new fires across the Great Basin. There were a reported 15 new fires for just 168 acres, but still with over 4,000 acres of growth on our large fires, which you can see in the open circles. Over the last 1 to 2 weeks, we've seen very dry conditions across the Great Basin. About 2 weeks ago, we did see some wetter conditions up in western Idaho, but since then, very dry conditions with only spotty light precipitation associated with lightning activity. Currently, our fuel conditions are still very critical over the southern and eastern half of the Great Basin. You can see fuels or ERCs are above the 97th percentile across much of Utah into far eastern Nevada, and also have increased above the 80th or 90th percentile up across central and eastern Idaho into Wyoming. Looking at a couple of our ERC charts, up north across Idaho, ERCs have been on a steady rise and are nearing historical maximums for the time of year. Further south in Utah, where we have our large fires, ERCs have remained at record levels and above, again, the 97th percentile. We still have our fuels and fire behavior advisory in effect for the Great Basin in the area shaded in red, and that will likely be expanded further west and north by the middle of next week. Our satellite image shows high pressure still dominating the southern portion of the Great Basin. It is getting pushed a little bit further south as this cold front moves into the northern Rockies and brushes eastern areas of the basin, so temperatures will certainly continue to cool in the north and still remain very hot and near record levels over southern and western areas. Looking at our weather pattern for later today, again, as that cold front brushes eastern areas, we will see that increase in northwest winds, with those high risks indicated over central and eastern Utah and also over parts of the Arizona Strip. Wind gusts today, again, strongest in the east, and you can see these oranges and pinks indicating wind gusts above 35 or even 40 miles per hour in some of these areas. Relative humidity will drop back into the single digits over much of Nevada and Utah. Going into Monday, we again have this trough sitting off the west coast, so we will see southwest winds increase in western and southern areas. We have indicated high risk for a small portion of those areas. Winds will not be as breezy across Utah on Monday, but still very dry conditions. Looking at the wind gusts, you can see again southern areas of Nevada will continue to see those wind gusts increase to above 30 or 35 miles per hour along with the Sierra Front. Also over southwest Utah toward the flat fire, we will see those southwest winds increase, but wind gusts will probably be in the 25 to 30 mile per hour range, still with low single-digit relative humidity and poor overnight recoveries. On Tuesday, that trough inches a little bit further east along the west coast, so those winds will spread further east and strengthen on Tuesday over southern Nevada into Utah. Again, you can see on Tuesday where the strongest winds will be located. Many of these gusts will be exceeding 40 miles per hour, so this will be a significant concern as these winds increase with the very dry conditions for certainly any of our existing incidents in Utah, but also any emerging new incidents. With the recent lightning, we could certainly be picking up some holdovers with the windy and dry conditions. The high temperatures, again, will be decreasing in the north. At least today, we will see highs in the upper 80s to low 90s. As we move forward Monday through Tuesday, we will see those temperatures climb back up again, especially over Idaho and into northern eastern Utah, but continue to decrease with that trough presence off the west coast over western and parts of southern Nevada. No significant amount of precipitation over the next few days. Those thunderstorms developing on Tuesday in Idaho may bring some light precipitation, so we will continue to watch those thunderstorms. Moving into Wednesday, we will see moisture start to move north again, returning to Utah. This will be a return of lightning activity. Right now, we have high risk for southern areas of Utah, but we certainly could see those thunderstorms develop further north, even towards the Uinta Basin. So we will be watching this moisture as these thunderstorms will initially start drier. And again, this will be after our period of drying and windy conditions. We will also see wind gusts potentially push further north and strengthen over central and northern Utah, so we do have high risk for wind in those areas on Wednesday. On Thursday, the moisture remains in place across Utah. We do not have any high risk at this time. However, likely some high risk will be needed as we will continue to see lightning activity. But again, being so far out in the forecast, we'll continue to watch that and decide which areas might be at highest risk and be watching the moisture with these thunderstorms as well. And on Friday, we see drier conditions push into many areas of the Great Basin, so no high risk yet. We'll continue to see if we have any remaining lightning on Friday, but right now it's looking like a drier and warmer pattern going into the weekend. On Saturday, the ridge continues to rebuild over the Great Basin, so we will see temperatures again increasing. They will remain above normal going through next week, but again, they will become hotter as we approach next weekend. 7-day total precip, not much different than the 3-day. We will see a little bit more of those thunderstorm activity on Tuesday and Wednesday in Idaho, again, potentially dropping some light precipitation a little bit further east. And then across Utah right now, it's just looking like spotty and light precipitation with thunderstorms going into that Wednesday, Thursday time period. Looking at the 8 to 14-day outlook, taking us from the end of June into the early part of July, still shows very hot and dry conditions for the Great Basin. We are starting to see that monsoon develop over parts of New Mexico and Arizona in early July, so we'll be watching that moisture and see when it actually pushes north into the basin. But right now, going into the early part of July, still looking at very warm and dry conditions for the Great Basin. That concludes our webcast for today. Check back tomorrow for the latest updates.